Hey guys, welcome back to my art studio, and today I am giving you guys a studio tour plus sharing my cold porcelain clay essentials, which are basically everything that I have on my desk. This is one room that is shared by me and my sister, and I run my small business and create content in this cozy tiny space. If you guys are new here, hey guys, this is Annie. I am a cold porcelain clay artist and I make cute clay charms keep my inner child happy and hopefully give you all a little serotonin boost. I also have a small business where I sell my handmade clay creations. So I think I will go from this side eventually to that side and show you everything that I have on my desk. So right at this side of my table, I have a little box which contains all of my coloring agents. So technically there are three mediums. First one is of course my chalk pastel. I use this chalk pastel for multiple things, one of them being the blush. You guys know that every single creation of mine has a little orange pinkish blush, and I use chalk pastel to do that. You can also shape up this chalk pastel, add it into the clay, mix it in, knead it in, and then make colored clay from white clay. The only disadvantage with this is you cannot really use it to color big amounts of clay because of course it will not be cost effective. So in case I need to do it, I will use this smaller container right here. So in this I have all of my acrylic paints and my food color. The company of food color I use is called Pura Mio. And all the shades of this company are really pastel, which I personally really like. Sometimes I would need very solid and bright colors, so in those cases I will be using acrylic paints. So I mainly have this like small tubes of acrylic paints. Two colors that I use the most though is black and white. Black being the color that I use for all my faces of all my charms. Here is a huge tube of black acrylic paint and I have been using this for over 2 years now. And here is a tub of white acrylic paint and the company is Fevicryl. Also, I have two of my very important tools. The first one is a mini weighing machine and this acrylic stamps. So this is like one thing that I probably would not survive without as a small business owner. I need to make hundreds of each charm, and to make sure that every single one of them is the exact same size, exact same ratio, I use this mini weighing scale. And then comes this acrylic stamps. So honestly, when I first got it, I didn't think that I would use it that much. I thought maybe I will just use it for photography purposes or like to make my videos a little bit more aesthetic, but I actually used it quite a lot. So I don't know what kind of acrylic this is, but cold porcelain rarely sticks to this material. So whenever I am cutting any pieces like little feet of my clay charm, or for example if I am making the plates or the waffleware that I need to cut, I will cut it on top of this because nothing sticks on this for some reason. So I keep it in this container. And lastly, in this container we also have a bottle of Fevicol. Whenever you attach anything, whether it be a small part like eyes, mouths, anything, you need to use some kind of PVA glue. So in my case, of course, my favorite glue, which is Fevicol. I think Fevicol at this point should make me their brand ambassador. Okay, so those are all the things that I have in this container right here. And behind that, right here, I don't know if you guys can see or not, behind that I have all my resin essentials, or not really resin essential, but like all the different resins that I have. This one is one of my favorite brand called Oitra. Resin is right on the corner because I don't use it every single day. I probably will be using it twice or thrice every single month, so I have push them in the corner. If we move to this side, we have some containers that you can see, two airtight containers. These are for storing clay. Cold porcelain is an airtight clay and it's very sensitive to air. So this bigger container right here is basically all white clay. I just made this batch of clay yesterday, and then along with this we have a baby container. So basically I use this container to store my colored clay because I don't want the colored clay to mix with the white clay. I store it inside this, although for now I only have white clay in this. In a few days you will see that this will be filled with all the colored clay. Okay, next we have this little box that you guys might have seen in a lot of my videos. This essentially is one thing that I cannot survive without. This has all of the tools that I use for sculpting. So let me show you one by one. The most used tool in this entire table is of course my X-Acto knife. So this X-Acto knife also comes with extra blades, which is very helpful. I use it for basically almost everything. I use it for cutting my clay, even attach these small pieces together, add glue to each of my clay pieces. So it's basically one of those versatile tools and I use it for almost everything. Okay, next I have this little brush here. Now this is not a paint brush, this is actually a makeup brush. I stole it from my sister. When I tried using other brushes for doing the blush, it almost felt like a patch on the cheeks rather than a blush. One of the best things that I have stolen. Okay, so next comes this set of like dotting tools, and this also has a silicone end at this bottom. So I don't use dotting tools a lot at the moment. The silicone ends of these brushes is really great if you are trying to apply a layer of glue evenly, or even for resin work, these are really good. Then I have a mini drill. After the clay charm has dried, I use this to drill a hole in my clay charms and then I insert the eye pin. Now a recent addition to this box are these two needle tools. So unlike a lot of other clay artists, I have never used a needle tool. It's very good if you are like trying to blend two pieces together. It's also very convenient to use if you're like trying to add like these small eyes and nose and like the details of the face to the clay charm. And finally, I have this little metal blade. So you know those things like thermocol cutters. Got one of those. I took out the blade. Now I use this for my clay creations. So basically, if you need to cut thin strips of clay, you can roll out the clay and then use this to kind of like have straight cuts instead of using an X-Acto knife and cutting them one by one. So yeah, those are basically everything. I also have a few like random pen caps. I just keep them handy just in case if I need to like make any circle, then I can just use them to cut out those circles. This box is actually made by my grandfather. So whenever I see it, I'm like, I have that artistic genes inside me. Okay, so this box right here has really like random stuff. So I have this one plant, and then I have this Pomimo printer. So this one is one of my first PRs that I have ever received. So I was so happy when they contacted me because I have seen like big creators using this and like big artists using this. And then beneath this, I have this little like drawer box that I also got from Miniso. In here, I keep all of my clay charms usually, and these are like some of the extras that I have made. And this is one of those designs, like this is not complete yet, but like one of the designs that I am working on. So I am thinking that it will be having like this hanging mushroom like this. So yeah, this is kind of like still in trials, and some extra charms that I have made. On the bottom, I have my business card. So I know this is like super random, but like this desk is small and I just need to work with whatever I have. I recently got this little like container, like set of 3 container from Miniso. And what I'm thinking of doing is dedicating this whole drawer right here to my business stuffs. So basically I will have all my business cards and all my stickers in this container right here. And then all the clay charms that I will be making, instead of keeping it on top, I will be just keeping it in this container right here. Next, coming to this side, I have 2 little pen stand, you can say. This one is actually supposed to be a toothbrush holder, but I found it really cute. I got it from Miniso. So this one is something that I don't normally use, but it looks very cool on camera. So here I have all my like Posca pens or like marker pens, alcohol markers. These are the things that I don't really use. One thing that I do use quite a lot is this really fine liner pen. This is by Ohuhu that they very kindly gifted to me. So I use this to make like the whiskers, or if you have seen any of my clay charms, they have this little 2 lines on top of the blush. So sometimes if I'm unable to do it with clay, then I will just use this liner pens and just draw them, and it works really well. This side just have a bunch of brushes which I don't really use brush that much. This one makes me feel like an artist. And moving on to this one has a little more useful things. So firstly, I have these 2 pliers. I got this from my Bodo Mama. This one is a thicker plier and it also has a cutter right here. So this one is really great for like stronger works. But if you need to do fine details, like if you need to bend a jump ring into a circular shape or anything like that, this nose pliers comes in very handy. So this part right here is like a complete circle. So yeah, I have those two pliers. I have these three scissors. One of them is a normal scissor that I use for clay, and then I have these two patterned scissor. Like this one is a scalloped edged one. I will just use it to cut the clay, and the clay will have really nice like frill design. Okay, lastly I have this cutting board right here. Honestly, I don't use it that much. Some clay pieces, if it's very sticky, would stick to the surface. Plus it catches a lot of dust. I think it's really great for other types of air dry clay, but for cold porcelain this is not really the greatest material. So it's mainly there to kind of like set a boundary of where my workplace is. Okay, I think the last thing that I want to show you is this little container right here. In here, I have all of my molds, all of the little molds that I use, not the resin molds. I've got this like really cute cookie one. Then I have got the flower one, and then the famous bow mold that I got from Polymer Clay Corner. And then ages ago, I also got this one mold right here that I have not used till now. It has a watch and a camera. Other than that, I have a circle cutter like this, mini star, there's like this mini flower, another smallest little flower, and then I also have this one, the waffle maker, the clay waffle maker. And on top, I use this little cake that I got from a really amazing crochet artist. I will have every link in the description. Okay, now moving here, which I don't normally show in a lot of my videos, but I only have like this small little container which has all of my filming equipments. This one attachment that I use to attach my phone to the tripod. I have another mic. This one is by Holyland. My earpod, something that I cannot survive without. So yeah, those are basically like all the stuffs that I use for filming. Not really useful, not really creative. So I just keep it on that side of the table, which I normally don't show in any of my videos. I also have this little notepad that you won't believe where I got this from. I got this from like a Durga Puja Mela. When you think about Durga Puja Mela, what do you think? Like there will be like sari, there will be like food and everything. But I did not expect this one shop that had like so many kawaii things. I also got a lot of like pens and diaries from that store. Yeah, I also bought like that flower. Let me show you. So that flower right there, I also got from that Durga Puja Mela. Look at that, so beautiful. And there were a lot of amazing stuff there. This side right here, I also have my printer, which by the way does not work right now. And on top of it, I have this little container which I use to dry all my clay charms. So I just shipped a lot of them last week, so I don't have anything to show you right now. And then it also comes with a lid, which is very nice because it has like this little perforation, so I can just close it when I think that the clay is drying too quickly. I did not even have to buy it. My mom kind of like got it from like a kitty party gift or something, so I just stole it from her. Like a lot of things on my table are basically stolen, like stolen with permission from other people. Okay, so I think those are pretty much the essentials that I use like in my day-to-day. Of course, there are other things like there are resin gears, there are also epoxy resin, jewelry findings, cutting tools, my laptop. So those are in these two drawers that I have. And I also have like this little area right here where I keep all my jewelry findings, my epoxy resin, everything. But right now it's super messy, so I'm not gonna show you that, but it's like a mini cupboard right beneath my table. So yeah, I think that is everything that I have in this small studio of mine. Of course, there are times when it gets very difficult to like run a small business as well as like content creation from this one desk or like this small little area, but I think that adds to the beauty of a small business. You guys might be very shocked to know this, that this table that you see right here wasn't even supposed to be a table. It was supposed to be like a little sofa plus storage unit, but because the sunlight was so great in here, I kind of like hijacked this table. Even though it's not like a big studio or anything, I am really grateful for this space. That is my tiny little studio. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please like the video. It really helps the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.